everybody, the Lawn Gnome is here.
Oh, yeah. This guy's gone.
Yeah.
So as we approach the end of TV Sweeps Week, we're going to be talking about a lot of shows in the last 2 episodes because there's just so much to discuss. The first grouping that we're going to be focusing on is live-action Netflix series. Not animated, that's going to be in a separate section, but there are so many Netflix series that I watched in the last couple of months that I just have to bring to your attention. And a lot of them actually revolve around the Marvel Netflix universe. So we're going to be talking about the 2nd season of Luke Cage, the 2nd season of Iron Fist, and the 3rd season of Daredevil to start. So you guys remember my attitude about Jessica Jones. I couldn't even finish that 2nd season. It was so boring to me. So I was still holding out for some high hopes for the rest of these shows as they started showing off their next season premieres. So we'll start with Luke Cage. Unfortunately, the same thing happened as did with Jessica Jones. I tried to get through the first 6 episodes and I just couldn't get through it. It really didn't revolve around the supernatural abilities of Luke Cage. It was so much dialogue, so much noir style, and noir is just like a hit or miss for me. I mean, I love the fact that I got to learn about another Marvel villain like Bushman. I never even knew who he existed. I mean, I always knew who Luke Cage was, and I never knew much about him. And also the character Misty is another character that I really just didn't care for in terms of seeing what unfolded with her character. The show, for the season episodes that I watched, was so boring and so uneventful, I literally turned it off and just said, I can't deal with this anymore. But then when the 2nd season of Iron Fist came out, I was very surprised with how great the 2nd season was. It was so great to learn a little bit more about the villains that he has to face, because we saw Iron Scorpion in this season, and we also saw actress Alice Eve play Typhoid Mary, and holy cow, she stole the thunder with this show. I was so impressed by her character. She really played a psychopath perfectly. I just love the fact that they never actually called her Typhoid Mary, but I knew who she was right off the bat. And I also really appreciated the story that went with Iron Fist, who of course is played by Finn Jones, and there were a couple of characters that really ended up going in directions I never would have anticipated, and I was quite impressed with all the action. It was exciting. Every single episode was great to watch. I really did enjoy it. But lo and behold, both Luke Cage and Iron Fist got canceled. Wow, what are the odds for both of them? And I'm surprised that Jessica Jones didn't get canceled either, but I'm wondering what that means for the shows, especially with the disappointment of how great Season 2 was for Iron Fist. Seeing it have to get canceled was such a shock to me. So are they going to actually do Heroes for Hire? Are we going to see these characters in any of the other Marvel shows like The Punisher or Daredevil? I don't know. But now let's talk about Daredevil Season 3, because that one was absolutely fantastic. Once again, Charlie Cox and Matt Murdock, Foggy Nelson played by Elvin Henson, fantastic. We got Vincent D'Onofrio back as Kingpin. Oh man, I loved Kingpin in this season. So brutal, so omnipotent, and when he puts on the white suit, it just reminds me, he looked like Kingpin right out of the comic books. I loved it. Loved the story that went with Matt Murdock. Also loved the fact that we got another awesome villain. We haven't seen him officially put on his villainous suit yet, but in this season he plays the Daredevil's imposter, but we all know who he is by the end of the season, and it of course is his arch nemesis, Bullseye. I am so excited for Season 4 because I'm really hoping that Bullseye is going to be the main villain, and the last showdown between Daredevil and Kingpin, absolutely incredible. Cannot wait to see where the show is going to go with Season 4. And the last 2 shows that I want to talk about are very interesting. They're not necessarily shows. One of them is a documentary, and the other one is sort of like a talk show in a brand new way. And the first one is The Toys That Made Us. It's a documentary series about toys that we all knew and love, and their origin stories, how they became so famous, and how they are such a nostalgia buzz today. It was just so cool to see the origin stories of things like Barbie and Lego and He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, as well as Hello Kitty. There were even some toy lines that I never even thought twice about, like the Star Wars action figure line, which pretty much paved the way for the creation of action figures and marketing movies as toys in general. I just loved these toys, but I never really thought about their origin stories, and I'm so glad that they made 2 strong seasons. I'm really hoping that there's more, because they want to make more. They want to make an episode about Power Rangers. They want to make an episode about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I'm all for it. I want to see more about all these amazing toys, because they really are the toys that made us. And the last show on Netflix that I have absolutely loved, I binge-watched the entire 5 or 6 seasons that are already out now, and that is Jerry Seinfeld's Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee. This takes the world of the talk show and just spins it on its head. The fact that he has the opportunity to pick up all of these famous comedians, classic comedians like the great Carl Reiner and Mel Brooks, to some of the more newer faces like Trevor Noah, just pick them up in a car, go out for coffee with them, and just talk about real-world issues. I think probably my favorite episode was the one when he actually saw Carl Reiner and Mel Brooks. He wasn't anticipating on meeting Mel Brooks, but I wish I was in the room with them when Mel Brooks was talking, because just to hear the great stories that he has experienced as a comedian in Hollywood for so many years, just such a treat for him to have actually gotten a chance to sit down with him. And probably another one of my favorite episodes is the episode where he sat down with Bill Burr, because they talked about political correctness in comedy. It was so funny. Also, when he interviewed Ellen DeGeneres and Steve Harvey, and even when he gets people from Seinfeld like Michael Richards and Julia Louis-Dreyfus, such a treat to see him sit down with Seinfeld cast members again, and even Larry David. So many great comedians that have just paved the way for comedy for the last 5 decades. Absolutely fantastic. And just to see Jerry Seinfeld back on television again to a certain extent is a real treat too. You've got to check this out, because you're going to love it if you're a car fan. You're going to love it if you're a Seinfeld fan. You're going to love it if you're a coffee fan or a comedy fan. So many fans can appreciate Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee. You got to check it out. But anyway, guys, that's it, and I'm looking forward to the last episode of my TV Sweeps Weeks for fall/winter 2008. Please leave your comments in the box below if you want to recommend me some shows on Netflix that I haven't watched yet, or talk about the shows that I just talked about now, and I'll see you in the next one. Hey, thank you so much for stopping by my channel today. If you're new here and want to see more of what my channel has to offer, please click on the link to my last video, or hit that subscribe button to be kept up to date with all of my uploads. Content of all sorts is posted here quite often, so trust me, you do not want to fall behind. I will see you in the comments, and actions speak louder than words.